another episode of Throwing It Back with Sean Farrell. I am Sean Farrell. God is great all the time. All the time, God is great. Jesus Christ died and he rose again. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there. Let's get into it. So, Doug Moe coached the Denver Nuggets throughout much of the 1980s. And his teams were known for the running gun offense. Had guys like Alex English, Fatley Ever. Early on, David Thompson was still there. And Dan Issel. So his teams were known to run and gun, high scoring. Alex English, one of the most proficient scorers of the 1980s. They were also known for playing no defense. Okay, the Denver Nuggets of the 80s did not play defense, nor did they play defense under Paul Westhead. Okay, you remember the 1990-91 Nuggets? They averaged like 130 points per game. However, by that same token, they also gave up 119 points a game. Okay, yeah. So I remember the first game of the season, the first game of the 1990-91 season, they played the Golden State Warriors. And the Warriors won 162 to 158. Okay. Okay. So anyway, but there was a game. I believe it was around 1983, okay. It was Clyde Drexler's rookie year. Right. Yeah, it was. Clyde Drexler's rookie year, they were playing the Portland Trail Blazers. And I just said the Denver Nuggets didn't play defense of the 1980s. And they didn't play defense this game. And Doug Moe was so infuriated by the Nuggets' effort on defense that in the final minute 12 of the game, he just let the Portland Trail Blazers make 5 uncontested layups. His team didn't play defense because Doug Moe told his team not to play defense because Doug Moe was frustrated by the Nuggets' inability to play defense that game, okay? And so they ended up losing the game 156 to 116 to the Portland Trail Blazers, okay? They lost 156 to 116 to the Portland Trail Blazers, okay? So the NBA took note of that. And Doug Moe was fined $5,000. And not only he was fined $5,000, he was suspended 2 games as well for ordering his team not to play defense versus the Trail Blazers. But that wasn't the only time Doug Moe got in trouble with the league, okay? Because on November 12th, he was fined $3,000 for verbally abusing an official, and he tossed a cup of water at that official. Okay. Yeah, so like I said, Doug Moe said he acted out of frustration over the Nuggets' inability to play defense. Okay. Just said they lost 156 to 116 to the Portland Trail Blazers. Okay. So so I saw something on Basketball Network. Phil Jackson said Michael Jordan's performance in Game 6 of the 1998 NBA Finals was probably the best performance he had ever seen. Okay. And so Michael scored 45 points, including the game winner. Okay. He did go 15 for 35. Okay. For 45 points. He did hit 3 3-pointers that game. But he didn't receive much help from anybody else. Now, Tony Kukoc, he did score 15 points that game. Okay. So Kukoc gave him the help. And it was actually Tony Kukoc who hit a key 3-pointer in the fourth quarter. Okay. Yeah. It was actually Tony Kukoc who had a key 3-pointer in that game in the fourth quarter. For those of you who may not remember, Dennis Rodman actually had an important basket. Okay, Dennis Rodman had an important basket, right? Um, so in Game 6, that game, Ron Harper had the flu. Okay, so he really couldn't contribute, despite the fact he had a huge shot in the fourth quarter. Okay, Scottie Pippen, first play of the game, he dunked the ball and his back gave out on that dunk, and he was basically done for the game, despite the fact he still played. Okay, so it was obvious Michael was going to have to carry a team, which he did. 45 points. Steve Kerr had this to say: "We all hopped on MJ's back. It was his game. He carried us. It was his game. That guy is so ridiculous. That guy is ridiculous. He is so good. It's scary." Okay. I disagree with Steve Kerr on one thing. He said he's so good. It's scary. No, no, no. Michael Jordan is so great. It's scary. Okay. Yeah. So Dennis Rodman actually had something to say about that too. Dennis Rodman said it was obvious that the refs expected us to roll over and die so the NBA could get an extra 30 million. Thank God we have the players who believe in themselves. So Dennis Rodman actually thought that the league wanted a game 7. Okay, that's what Rodman thought. The league wanted game 7 so they can get an extra 30 million. If you go back and look at all the Bulls' 6 championship victories, except for 1991, what do they all have in common? 1992, 6 games. 93, 94, 95, 93, 94, 95. For real, you big dummy. 1992, 1993, 1996, 97, 98. What do they all have in common? The Bulls all closed it out in Game 6. Okay, so yeah, but Dennis Rodman thought Dennis Rodman actually thought the league wanted a Game 7, but Michael Jordan said no to that. Okay. Speaking of Bulls Game 6 victories, Horace Grant reflected on the end of Game 6 after John Paxson hit the winning 3. Okay. The Suns still had a chance to win the game. Okay. But Grant, being 6'10 and KJ being the little man he is, Grant was able to block it. Okay. And Horace Grant reflected on that. He said, Phoenix throws the ball in, advanced the ball. When the Suns threw the ball in, they had a big guy named Oliver Miller. Rest in peace. 7 feet 280. So MJ's guarding KJ. Oliver Miller sets the screen on MJ. Grant was playing Oliver Miller. Okay. So KJ comes off the screen at the free throw line. And when he comes off the screen, KJ is shooting a shot from the free throw line. Okay. So he's basically shooting a free throw. And Grant said he was just very blessed to be 6'10. Okay. I'm backing up step by step and block that shot to seal that. Okay. Yeah. So Grant made the series winning block. Paxson made the series winning shot. Grant made the series winning block. Okay. So Horace Grant also had this to say, because Kevin Johnson became a very successful politician after his playing days. He was actually mayor of Sacramento for a time. Okay. He was actually mayor of Sacramento for a time. And if y'all remember, the Kings were almost moved out of Sacramento. Yeah, the Kings were almost moved out of Sacramento because they were having issues with getting a new stadium. Okay, the Kings were, and they were going to move to Seattle. Okay, yeah, it was all set. Yeah, the Kings were all set to move to Seattle, but I believe Kevin Johnson was mayor of Sacramento during that time, but they ended up staying in Sacramento when they voted for a new stadium. Okay, the Kings did, right? So Kevin Johnson's mayor of Sacramento, and Horace Grant saw saw him a few years back. Okay, Grant said, "Crazy thing is, a few years back, I saw KJ when he was mayor of Sacramento, and he was like, 'You know, you fouled me.' I was like, 'Hell no.' I was like, 'Hey, let's go back to the replay. Let's watch the tape.' And it is very clear to see on the replay, Horace Grant got all ball. Horace Grant got all ball. Yeah, it was very clear to see Horace Grant got all ball on that play. Okay. So, speaking of Sacramento, perfect segue into the 1999 NBA playoffs when the Utah Jazz were playing the Sacramento Kings in the first round. Okay. And it had been an exciting series. Jazz won in a blowout game one. Sacramento came back and won game two. Sacramento won game three. And they were a John Stockton jumper away from eliminating Utah 3-1 in game four. Okay. But John Stockton hit a clutch jumper that sent the series back to Utah for game five. Okay. But I think what people do not remember about game four, besides Stockton's jumper, is Shandon Anderson of the Jazz. He scored 8 points down the stretch to set up John Stockton's game-winning jumper to send the series back to Utah for game five. Okay. And so, John Stockton, Michael Jordan, John Stockton, and start that over again. Phil Jackson known to play mind games. Kobe Bryant plays mind games. Phil Jackson plays mind games. Isaiah Thomas, the great ones, they play mind games with you on the court. And I think Michael Jordan and Phil Jackson, two of the best mind game players out on the basketball court. Okay, because Jordan knew every trick in the book. Jordan knew every trick in the book. Okay, to not get fouls called on him. So Jordan had all the tricks. Phil Jackson played mind games. Okay, but people forget John Stockton was also one of the best at playing mind games too. Okay, so Jason Williams was a rookie in 1999. Okay, and he was matched up with John Stockton. And Jason Williams didn't have a good game five. Okay. He didn't have a good game five. The Jazz won the game in overtime. Okay. But Jason Williams didn't have a good game five. Okay. And John Stockton was getting in his head. John Stockton was really beginning to get in his head. Okay. And it was a point during the second quarter where John Stockton was living rent free, as they like to say, in Jason Williams' head. Yeah, yeah. Hold on. Okay. It's open. Stockton. Williams reached in. John Stockton got him to make this. He stuck his left arm out there like, grab this thing. What's Stockton's left arm now? Here, Jason, grab this thing and get a foul. Thank you. I got a little something for you here. Trust me, I've been around a long time. You're just a rookie. You can trust me. Okay. Okay, so that's the first one. I was gonna give you bring it to y'all in a short, show it to y'all in the short, but the short that they put up, it was too blurry to see. So yeah. So you know what? Never mind. I don't have to skip ahead because it's only a couple of seconds later. Okay. Yeah. All right. So yeah, that was the first inclination of Stockton getting into Jason Williams' head. Here is the second, which comes up.
Jason Williams is very frustrated. He's very lucky he did not get a technical. He yelled at Jack Neese the whole way down the floor on that play. See how he bumps Stockton. Right now. He'll be a technical. Totally out of control here. And Hugh Hollins, after he calls the foul, walks toward Williams and says, "Hold on here, son." Well, he's lucky that these are veterans officials because, and it's a game 5, it's an elimination game. They're going to give you a little bit of freedom. But this is a rookie, they're not going to give him too much. See, the problem you have is Vernon Maxwell has 3 fouls right now. You got those flurry of fouls against Stockton. So Jason Williams has got to keep his cool here right now and finish this quarter off with his team. Remember how we talked about how championship teams finish. Stockton again fouled by Williams. He knows right now. All he has to do is keep taking because Jason Williams is making this a personal challenge. Now he gets a technical. That's the 4th technical of the game. Weber, Williams, Williamson for Sacramento, Malone for Utah. And now Michael Hawkins, second-year player from Xavier, is on the scorer's table. Stockton swishes the technical shot. Williams goes out, and Hawkins replaces him. Some counsel from Rick Adelman. Point guard in this league is just trying to get him to calm down. You know, Jason Williams wants to do the right thing, but right now things have not been going well for him, and he mostly got caught up in playing John Stockton. And you see him right now, every one of his teammates are trying. Byron Scott there, the assistant coach on the left who played for the Lakers, Maxwell, Vanderberg, like, look, we need you. Just calm yourself down a little bit. Jason Williams was minus 13, and I mostly got caught up.
Ooh, yeah. And you heard Hollins say Jason Williams was a minus 13. Was a minus 13 in that first half, which probably explains why he was not on the court at the end of the fourth quarter when the Kings were attempting to win the game. The problem was Vlade Divac missed the shot at the end of the fourth quarter that would have given the Kings the win. Okay, but yeah, so yeah, but again, Jordan, one of the very best at mind games. Phil Jackson, very best at mind games, but John Stockton, he was pretty good his own self. Okay, all right, that's it, and that's all. I'll hold it back with Sean Farrell. I am out of here. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there. I'm out of here. Peace out.